Welcome to Local Point, your life, your stories, with your host, David Gale.
Hello and welcome to Local Point. I'm your host, David Gale. Let's welcome Duchesne County Commissioners Ron Winterton and Greg Todd into the studio today. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
From Duchesne County. I got lots of questions for you. It's always nice to have government officials in. And because my knowledge of Duchesne County isn't nearly as vast as it is of Uintah County, and that's not really saying a whole lot, maybe you could start off by telling me, Duchesne County, is Duchesne the county seat for Duchesne County? I'm just going to assume that's the case.
Yes, it
It makes sense. And then as county commissioners, maybe for some of the viewers out there, what is the job of a county commissioner? You're both county commissioners, but serving different periods of time. Maybe you could tell me a little about your role in the county commission. Maybe Ron, you can start.
Okay. Well, I'm in my 8th year, just finishing in the 2nd term. I am serving as the chairman, and that was because I was outvoted.
The other two voted for you?
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Okay.
Yes. And as commissioners, we are the executive and the legislative branch of government for the county. So not only can we enact laws, but we also administer and take care of all the personnel issues, budget-wise and that. So that's the part that we pretty much take care of every day.
And as a county, obviously you're taking care of a much larger geographical area typically than a city government would.
Yes, I'm dumbfounded right now. I can't think of the acreage we have, but
Sure.
You think from the high Uintas, we have 290,000 acres of wilderness up there, and then you go as far south as 9 Mile Canyon, and over to the east to Desolation Canyon and then we go clear out to Current Creek. So we have a large area. Our population is between 20 to 22,000. We were just a little over 22,000, and now with the downturn, I'd say we're probably around 20,000.
Yeah, but having, again, such a wide range of geographical area as well as probably just different types of people, you probably deal with a wide range of issues, I imagine.
That we do. Our main industry is oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
The history of the county, we used to be a farming community with a lot of dairies and beef cows, and now that's kind of a supplement to the industry. And so we have a lot of small communities in that we have 3 small high schools in our county, which is unusual compared to Uintah County with 1 high school, and we have 1 large one. And then from that, each one of the little communities have their own celebrations and that, and so they kind of are independent, but yet we have like Hannah, Fruitland, Neola, that are not incorporated cities, and so they fall under our jurisdiction, and so we do the policing and also the ordinances pertaining to those little communities.
I imagine fire and rescue as well.
We do that for the whole county, but we also contract out to Roosevelt City, Duchesne City, Mighton City, Altamont to also help go out into the county to provide those services around those jurisdictions, and then outside of that, we do everything else. Okay.
Now, Commissioner Todd, as a brand new, not brand new, you've been about a year now,
yes.
A new elected official. What have you seen in the last year that maybe did or didn't line up to your expectations for this job?
Well, a lot of people ask why, and then
why be a county commissioner?
And then they say, is that what you expected? I fully expected what I was going to get. I knew that it was going to be very involved, and I wanted to be involved. That was why I ran. I kind of ran under the auspices of the community of Duchesne County, and as Commissioner Winterton has mentioned, that's what we feel, is that there's all those little towns and then couple of large cities, or larger towns. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity to make a difference, that was part of my process.
Yeah.
Of going, Commissioner Winterton's done really well to help us understand. Commissioner Burdick and myself were new, and we're still new in some respects. Yeah. But we've learned that to be involved, you got to spend time, and you got to spend a lot of time in various committees and out with the people, and not just locally, but state and national.
Sure.
So.
And we're going to find out about some of the things that you guys have been doing recently, so stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk more about Duchesne County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Local Point. Before the break, we were discussing Duchesne County with the county commissioners. We are welcoming now, along with Commissioner Winterton, Commissioner Ken Burdick. Thank you for joining us as well now.
Thanks for having me.
Before the break, we were talking a little bit about some of the responsibilities of the county commissioners, and Commissioner Winterton, you had mentioned the economy in particular, and obviously we all know that Duchesne County, Uintah County, all being affected by an economic downturn. How does that affect your job and what's going on with Duchesne County?
Well, it's a big challenge because we don't have anything to do with the price of a barrel of oil, and since that's our economy. But what we are doing, Commissioner Todd, he was in Denver last week, and part of going around and seeing the energy companies, thanking them for being here still, and encouraging them to, we'll get through this together. And so we have good relationships with all of the producing companies here in the basin. We're very supportive of what Uintah County does and the Enefit project and U.S. Oil Sands, and we're just brother and sister when we get to the economy. The other things that we're trying to do is we do have projects on the horizon that we're trying to, like the drilling, you have to look down the road quite a few, a couple of years to even get drilling permits.
Sure.
So you're looking that far in advance. And so some of the things that we're doing right now, we've been working on for a year and a half. We're still 6 months to a year out. But when the drilling comes back, then these projects will be there in support of it, and there'll be lasting jobs in that regards.
Okay. Well, what kind of projects are you talking about?
Well, just some of our road projects. Like
Okay.
right now, we're getting ready to pave the Moon Lake Road up there. They're just setting the bridge deck today. It's in cooperation with the Forest Service, and we put out a contract for the paving. Burdick Materials or Staker Parsons got that.
Okay.
And if the weather is good next week, they'll start paving. And then,
this is to help the infrastructure for when drilling comes back.
well, this is more for recreational. And then we're
okay.
doing a job over just as you drop off into Mighton, you take a right and go back towards Arcadia. And they just recently let that project, and that will help with the oil infrastructure also. And then we're going to eventually finish Gate Canyon into 9 Mile and help that part of the oil field come and go there. And those are just some of what we're trying to do right now with them.
And how do you feel, you had a Commissioner Todd who went over to Denver and talked to the oil companies. Did they give him any sense of the pulse of the oil field? And we've all been through this more than once. I mean, this goes up and down, and there's no doubt in anyone's mind that it will come back up. Any timeline?
Well, nobody's saying for sure with the elections that are going on this year. It's anybody's guess as to what will happen with the economy, whether the price of oil will go up as a driving force of the election or if they're going to stay status quo. But most of the companies are right now becoming very lean and making plans to come back. But we know that our oil's more costly to get out of the ground and transportation and that. And so these companies are just kind of lining up, and again, coming back to the permits. It takes a long time to get permits to drill on federal. He mentioned the Gate Canyon project. We're trying to finish up the EIS on that so that we can proceed with construction. And so all of these things take time, and it's not that we're not doing anything. I mean, we're working from a state standpoint, from a national standpoint. We meet with the Forest Service, the BLM on a monthly basis. Our other project, the pipeline project, we're meeting with them almost weekly now and trying to get everything in place so that, as we come out of the EIS with that, then we'll be able to start construction, and that helps also the transportation costs that is affiliated with our oil right now, and being able to go to other markets with it. And that's a piece that our producers really need. Everybody likes to have a captive market, and that's basically what we have with our waxy crude. Is that it sets up so where you take it, you're limited in that regards. And so we're working on that problem, and we have a partner in place that's also helping us get through that. And those are some of the things that we have been driven to and we've been working on it before we ever seen the downturn. And so our vision is out 5, 10. I just had an email come in about, we have to have a 20-year plan. And so that's a long ways down the road to be planning. I happen to be over emergency services. And so, we can't come up with volunteers overnight, and we have to have them trained in that. Yeah. So, again, you got to have a vision.
Have your ducks in a row and ready to go. Well, we're out of time. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in and talking to us today. And, of course, thank you all for joining us here. Stay with us. We're going to have a community calendar come up right after this break. Hey, welcome to this week's Community Calendar presented by your local Vernal Area Chamber of Commerce, building commerce one member at a time. You can go to vernalchamber.com to learn more information about upcoming events. So let's get started with this week's schedule now. Coming up this week, we kick it off at the Uintah County Heritage Museum. We have watercoloring with Dina, and it's $15 to join the class, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. On May 20th, Strata Networks is hosting their 15th annual Golf Classic at the Dynaland Golf Course. You can learn more about that at stratanetworks.com. And on May 21st, we have the Law Enforcement Breakfast at the Vernal Elks Lodge, starting at 9 a.m. It's a $4 event with proceeds going to the Vernal Recovery Day events. Also on May 21st, we have the Fighting Hunger Feeding Friends Music Festival, which is free. Just bring a non-perishable food item to the park outside the Uintah County Library at 11 a.m. Thank you for watching Local Point. Be sure to like VTV6 on Facebook, and we will see you next week.